All right.
Jason will text
Episode
cheers us.
3.
We'll receive those in about 30 seconds.
So this is episode 3 of Grownup Human Comic People. Let's get that intro music in here.
You got the touch. You got the power. Yeah.
So I guess we should go around. We traditionally go from my left to
Yes.
introduce ourselves.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dan. I'm the owner of the shop, and I'm very happy that we're doing this. It's becoming a nice tradition.
Yeah.
It seems.
My name's Greg. It's good to be back. I like it.
Welcome back, Greg.
Thank you, all. And yeah, I don't know. So we'll see what happens this time.
All right.
I'm Jer. I don't have anything else to say.
I'm Daniel. This is the highlight of my day today.
Oh, and also we are coming to you in 3D, not 3D, just in color.
In all D's, all available D's.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of D's in here, so yeah, no, we are. For those of you listening to this and not watching, you can watch because we're actually filming this, and we'll have a video up on YouTube, so you can actually watch and see our wonderful, wonderful faces, and listen at the same time.
Unless something goes wrong in the editing room, and then
Unless something goes wrong, in which case we'll just have the audio just like last time. So let's kick it off with some shop talk. How about that, Dan?
Shop talk.
Yeah.
It
so what's
is.
been going on this week?
First week in November, big release again for Marvel. I feel like I'm saying that every week, but they are pumping the releases out. And I actually saw a report. They doubled up on DC the sales charts for recent weeks. So DC better get their shit together. I'm thinking they will because Batman fans, The Dark Knight Returns 3 by Frank Miller.
I didn't read the second one. Was that any good?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
It fucking sucked.
Yeah.
But the third one, Brian Azzarello is helping him write, and it is coming out very soon. Not next week, I believe the week after that. So I think DC will bounce back. Marvel this week had a lot of number ones. An X-Men book for X-Men fans. I know there have been people craving X-Men. And Jared and I talked about our sleeper favorite, Hercules.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we'll get into that like in future episodes.
Yeah, once there are a couple more issues or something, that'd be good.
Paper Girls 2 came out this week, so
Fuck
anybody that,
yeah.
Yeah, we talked about
read
that
the
last time.
first one or listened to us rave about the first one, the second one is just as good.
I agree.
So there was quite a few things. Stop in and I can talk more about what came out.
Yeah, Paper Girls 2 is definitely worth picking up. I think it's the ending's way more intense than the first issue.
It definitely ramps up the seriousness.
First
Yeah.
2 pages. I mean, I just bought it tonight. I got in fucking 2 pages. And I see this giant prehistoric being looking leg smashing down. And I'm like, I gotta fucking close this so I can commit to reading the whole thing.
It's crazy. There was a book about Santa Claus that came out today, this week. Claus by Grant Miller.
Claus with a K?
Grant Morrison. Claus with a K.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool too.
Yeah, he's like a barbarian. It's a pretty trippy read actually, and
I haven't read that one yet.
it's good. I mean, it's a little goofy. It's Grant Morrison.
It's Santa Claus as a badass. That's goofy in itself.
There's like
Santa by
these-
itself is goofy.
There's like these weird like aliens and like toys show up at the end. I mean, it was just so goofy. Like you gotta check it out.
I think we talked about. Didn't we talk about last time how goofy Santa just by himself, like as an idea is anyway.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
were 75% drunk at that point.
We were pretty drunk at that point. Yes.
Yeah.
That was when the Krampus talk came.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the things we say on this podcast, we don't entirely recall until we listen back to it, which I think is the best way to go. Obviously.
Yeah,
I'm way
absolutely.
funnier the second time. So
the last thing I'll mention, Shop Talk, Secret Wars number 7 comes out on November 11th.
It's about fucking time.
Yes. let's get this shit.
Yeah.
Did you see the cover for 8?
No.
It is a giant thing smacking down on Galactus.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because Galactus is outside Doomguard, right? He just hangs out there?
Yeah, because Franklin Richards is controlling him.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and the Human Torch is the sun, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing was the wall
Right.
of the shield. And Thanos, like, convinced him to go pound on Doom, so...
What was it? It was the artists that were holding up the...
No one has officially said so, but yeah.
Okay. Because it's been completely ridiculous how long it's been taking to
I'm
get those
pretty
things
sure. I'm pretty sure when you work for Marvel, you have to sign a clause like something that says you are not allowed to talk about stuff like this, like delays and business practices and things like that. So the creators are always silent when it comes to this stuff. So, but it's probably the art. The art is awesome though.
Yeah.
You can't, like, you can be mad about it. I'm mad about it, but when I read it and then I take in the art
is great. It is fucking fantastic.
And imagine how it's going to look in like a nice hardback book.
Yeah.
Like, and you just read through it and it's the same art all the way through.
That's true.
Pretty epic.
Yeah. So the books we're going to talk about today, in the first half, we're going to talk about Chrononauts. We just decided how to pronounce that earlier.
Chrononauts.
I'll probably say Chrononauts.
Yeah. We're from
Pittsburghese.
Pittsburgh. We're lazy.
Watch it.
Chrononauts.
Read that. Chrononauts.
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 That's Kronauts. Chrononauts.
Aughts.
Chrononauts.
That never gets old.
Who wants to kick off the Chrononauts talk?
It is a bro book.
It is totally a bro book.
I don't know. Okay, I guess that makes me the one
Yeah, I guess go for it. Yeah.
Because that's what I thought too. And I gotta say, guys, like last week or last 2 episodes, 2 podcasts, I was blown away. Every book left me with something to like really dive into and think about for a number of days thereafter, and I've continued to think about them. This week, I thought there would be. I was hoping for more of the same, and when I opened Chrononauts, I was like, "Fuck this!" Like 2 bros traveling in through time, like fucking chicks. But what was really interesting once you got into the 4th book, 4th one, right?
Yeah.
4th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It leaves you thinking about some pretty interesting thoughts, which are initially it proposes this idea: if you could go back in time, what would you do? Right? Like, what would you do? And if you could indulge all of your hedonistic impulses, like, of course you'd have a fucking tank, you'd have some badass samurais, like you'd be the king of something, you'd be fucking Lucky Luciano's girlfriend in the 20s, you'd be fucking Aphrodite and whatever. But in the last book, it presented this other idea that I really dug, which was, if you could go back in time, what would you do differently?
Right.
Like, what would you do differently?
What would you fix or approach differently, or something that you did like really messed up a lot of avenues in your life. Like,
in his case, it was something he didn't do, right? It was just like all he did was like hang out with his dad more, right?
Right.
And that's pretty much like fixed his entire life.
Yeah.
To spending like another day with his dad every week or something like that.
And like showing up to his wife's like functions.
Yeah.
And like as a result, they had children in this like really nurturing, compassionate relationship. I dug it, and it caused, of course, like, and that's what I look for in these fucking books, these things that like offer up these existential questions to think about after you put them down.
You love things to emotionally resonate with you.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm going to talk about in fucking Star Wars and why it left me feeling devoid to consider more deeply. But in these, that feeling of exactly that. Like, what would you have done differently? But the little twist that they threw in.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like nothing's changed. All of the right presidents have been elected. All of the right wars the outcomes have been correct. But
we'll say the same as
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, correct in terms of like historical accounts.
Right.
Like historical accounts prior to them leaving.
Right. Fair enough.
The only thing that's changed is who is it? Dan. What's his name?
The blonde guy.
Their lives flip flopped.
Dan.
Pretty much.
The other guy.
Well, yeah, the blonde.
Yeah.
I forget his fucking name.
Yeah, Danny.
Yeah.
How did you forget that name?
Yeah, it's
There's two of you here.
I know, and I'll point out it's a strong biblical Old Testament name that carries a lot of power. The only thing that changed is his girlfriend, or this girl he was having an affair with prior to leaving. Now she's married and has kids, and it's like,
to the dude that hunted them.
Right, to the dude who got like squished by a T-Rex.
Yeah.
That motherfucker.
Yeah.
The Tommy Lee Jones looking guy.
Yeah.
Every doghouse, every hen house, every whatever the hell.
He kind of had that role too, didn't he?
yeah, he kind of did.
I don't know. It's cool. I'm interested to see. If I would have just read the first one, and there wouldn't have been a second one to read immediately, I probably would have put it down and not picked it back up. But since there were 4 that I could read straight through, now they've got me hooked. Like I give them a lot more credit. Like they're gonna work with I think these subtleties and nuances in a.
So does that mean we should give it Babushka at least 4 issues to
Nope.
Man, I'm just saying.
Nope.
I think the same response came out 2 of you, which was
Yeah.
I don't think I've sold more than like 1 copy of Babushka.
we may have been responsible for that.
At
least
right here.
Yeah, I bought it. Yeah, it was mine. I bought it.
That
Yeah.
book is it's on the chopping block.
Yeah.
When they come up to the counter, do you say like, "Are you sure you really want to do this to
Have you
yourself?"
listened to the first podcast?
Yeah. Make sure you know who I am.
No, you think it's interesting? Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool,
that's
man.
totally fine. Yeah, you'd be that guy.
Your taste sucks.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised there was only 4 books.
Well, with Chrononauts,
Yeah. Why not ongoing?
Well, here's what's going on with Chrononauts. I think it was originally solicited as 5. That might be me imagining things, and I did not check that fact. I often do not. But there is plans for a sequel.
Okay.
Next year.
I think I did hear that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a Mark Miller book. So, or is it Miller or Millar?
I don't know how to say his name. It's Mark Miller.
Yeah, Mark
Sure.
Miller. And he's always got a lot of different projects going on at the same time. And this is one that's just, okay, he wrote the 4 issues, and then he's going to come back with it next year. But what's interesting about this book is the day it was released, or maybe the day before, a movie studio that I cannot remember picked it up, to make a movie.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
That'd
So
be cool.
like before even the whole story was out, just because it's him and how well the Kingsman did. That was his last movie.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely worth a watch.
And that's funny, Greg, because you were saying how hard that would be to make into a movie.
Well, I was saying because I was thinking while reading, I was like, I had 2 thoughts, like almost concurrent with one another. First was, this would be an awesome movie. The second one was, this would be a damn expensive movie.
It would be.
Yeah.
Because I think like all those jets,
Oh, yeah.
all the like the giant houses, the awesome cars.
wardrobes and
The
wardrobe
wardrobe,
scenery
yeah.
and
The
whatever.
dinosaur.
Yes, the dinosaur.
I didn't
You know how much
realize
dinosaurs cost?
This was at its end. This was 4 and done. Like they don't do a fucking sequel. I'm gonna be bummed.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's confirmed. There's going to be a sequel.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And the way it ends, like, because the one guy,
Isn't happy at the
he's
end.
not happy, and his
Right.
friend who wasn't happy prior is happy.
Right.
So like,
and whose fault this is.
yeah. so it's going to there's such an open story, an open door for a story there.
And it's time travel. They could make
It could be anything.
all sorts of stories.
I like the idea of that blonde guy really not being happy because he had to go and not rescue, but like hunt down his friend. And then he does. His friend convinces him, he's like, hey man, this is actually a lot of fun. Let's just fuck around. And he goes, yeah, okay, why not? And then he does it, and they fix everything kind of. And then he's more screwed at the beginning than he was, or then at the end than he was at the beginning. So he's sitting there thinking,
Why did I
do that again?
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to be the one who. Yeah. I
But
see.
in fairness, he only knew that chick for like 4.5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. But he's.
And they're both
Yeah.
these like narcissist with probably sociopathic tendencies.
Yeah.
Who are just an inability to relate, and like that changes towards the end.
Right. I see him getting worse, is what I'm saying. Like him that amplifying his
Daniel,
yes.
Dan, the blonde
Danny.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I see him getting worse.
What's the other guy's name?
It's not Kurt Ferguson. Trust.
Who here?
Who here read these books?
Well, I read it a while ago.
Yeah, I read it a while ago
This
too.
is an
so
older
this is
book.
not entirely. Yeah,
This is an older book.
They didn't have captivating names you remember.
No. What's his name?
I remember the girlfriend's names better than I remember his name.
Okay. Oh, his name is Dr. Quinn. I forget what his first name is now.
Wait until we get into the Star Wars book. Then we're really going to be
Oh yeah.
having
Very
name
nice.
discussions.
Oh yeah.
Quinn and one of them began with a C, I think.
Quinn, what's Quinn's first name? Quinn, because Danny's
Corbin?
the other guy.
No.
Corbin.
Corbin.
Corbin
That's right.
Quinn.
I was
Yeah.
close,
Okay.
Okay. There we go.
Douchey name.
Yeah, that's a
Quinn
really
Corbin,
good
yeah.
Waspy ass name. Corbin Quinn.
Except
See, they would have been more memorable if they had called
Corbin
the comic Quinn and Corbin
Dallas.
instead of
Yeah.
Chrononauts.
Yeah.
Fifth Element. Corbin Dallas. Corbin Dallas.
It's bullshit.
That is a great movie. Anyways,
Multipass.
the multipass.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what Danny decides to do, because he's clearly going to grab one of those suits and fuck shit up.
Try to. Fix.
I would think.
Yeah. I mean, he was down at the end of it.
Because at the beginning, I'm assuming they were kind of both in the same kind of life spot. You know, they have similar like devil may care attitudes. You know, let's jump through time. Why not? We have nothing. We don't have. Neither one of us has a family.
Yeah.
Now this guy
Mhm.
does have a family, kind of. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what he does.
I love how they had no regard for fucking up the time stream.
That I was when we were talking about that
Yeah.
the other day. Yeah, because most time travel books,
Mm-hmm.
the Back to the Future, Terminator, kind of, it's kind of a they want to make sure they don't fuck anything up.
Yes.
That's the whole point.
Mhm.
Or
There-
something got fucked up, and they need to stop that.
There's
from happening.
there's rules to
Right.
time travel.
Right. This one's just like, nope, we're just gonna do whatever the fuck we want to do, and it's gonna be awesome.
All the people back home are just going crazy. Like,
Oh,
what are they
yeah.
doing?
Yeah, and they don't remember. They don't know any different because it's
Yeah.
happening fluidly for them.
Yep.
Yeah, we were talking about that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
About how
Like let's have fun with time,
Fuck it.
because there really are very few other time traveling anything, movies, books that
Yeah.
treat time traveling with such a kind of frivolous
Devil may care.
attitude. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I really liked it. Like when people would come in and ask about it, they say, "What's this book about?" And I would say, "Well, it's like two guys, best friends, and they travel time, and they don't give a shit about messing up the time stream. They do whatever they want, and it's awesome because, did you guys like take the time to like look at the detail in the art? Like some of the things,
Oh
like
yeah.
that. I don't know what issue it was, but the one guy had the chart to keep everything straight from every era, and every woman he was like sleeping with.
It's like a really
Yeah.
big. It's like a whole wall.
Yeah.
It was likes. It was the woman's name.
Likes, dislikes.
Likes, dislikes, and other. And it was like Cleopatra was like likes sand and power, dislikes reverse cowgirl. Maybe that was Betty White. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think that was Betty White.
And,
that's it's fucking Cleopatra.
He's like,
That's
don't
right.
mention Rome. Was
here
like
it is.
the other category. It was like a dozen of them or something.
Betty
It was
White
great.
likes shuffleboard, dislikes reverse cowgirl,
That's right.
and then others like bring ribbon something. I can't read the last word. Oh, Betty Ross is below her. There's 3 Bettys in a row. Betty Page, Betty White, Betty Ross.
Yeah.
Dislikes Betty Ross. Oddly enough, dislikes Bon Jovi.
Yeah, that I thought was the most peculiar thing. Like, I've actually thought about that in terms of time travel. What would, like, if I went back to the 50s? It's like, I think I mentioned this to a classmate of mine one time. It was like, oh, what if you could go back in time, or like go to Africa and like bring them modern music and say, what do you think? And it's like, what would somebody from 1950s think about Metallica?
They would hate all of it. They would hate all of it because
Yeah.
if you talk to them today, they hate all of it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Good point.
That's true.
No,
Wasn't
but imagine,
Joan of Arc
that's,
on that
that's a
list?
really good
Oh.
point, though, Greg. Like, imagine if you had introduced jazz 1,000 years ago, right? Like into Africa, introduced jazz, like, hey, here's this thing, and like maybe brought like a guitar and like a horn or something, you know, or, like, and just like drop them off with like a package, and like, I mean, they're only gonna get like, you know, whatever 30 plays out of the CD player because it's got D batteries.
Wait, what CD player has D batteries?
I don't like the big ones. You know, like like a ghetto blaster.
Yeah,
you know, like the one.
Think 80s on top of the shoulder
Yeah,
down the sidewalk.
yeah.
That's a really shitty thing to do. Like, we have better things than that now, but you give them a one that takes D batteries.
No, but they sound really good because it's got the big speakers.
That's true. They do sound a lot better.
Yeah, they sound awesome. And you know, whatever, they get like 30 plays out of it. It's a couple instruments and like.
You see if the seed is planted deeply enough, and it's actually good because I would have thought of anything like 1950s and Metallica is probably a worse example than Africa and jazz because it's like how many degrees of separation there are from something that two things that are connected.
Yeah.
Right.
But would they even know what to do with it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably get laid.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that was happening anyway. I mean, like, everybody was getting laid back then. Like,
I think everyone's getting laid all the time.
Yeah, hundreds, thousands, maybe years.
I'm a million, arguably.
The fact that there's people still here is proof that people are getting laid.
No, but I'm saying like even like, not having to like be a jazz musician in order to get laid or up your chances of getting laid.
I see.
You know,
can you imagine how much more laid you would get if you were a jazz musician in 1400s Africa?
Oh,
you'd be getting all
just push
kinds
the
of
clock
laid.
back. You just keep pushing the clock back and think how exponentially that
Exactly.
that amount of laidness.
There's got to be some kind of calculation. He probably has a calculation for that in this book.
Probably on another board somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned Joan of Arc because I was just looking at that, and hers might be the funniest one. It's her likes are knives and arguing, her dislikes are fire and barbecues, and her other is lesbian ?
That kind of like extra effort with the detail and the art and the
Oh, yeah.
storytelling, just
That's fantastic.
it really puts it over the edge for me. It's just it adds a whole nother layer of storytelling.
It also says something about his psyche where is she actually a lesbian, or was she just like too into what she was doing to pay any attention to him? So he just assumed that because she wasn't into him she's a lesbian, like some modern douchebag.
Right. Oh yeah.
Fucking dyke.
Yeah,
Fucking dude, that's bullshit.
I'm an idiot. Like, shouldn't.
Red Bull.
Jaeger bombs.
Jaeger, that's a Jaeger bomb.
bombs.
Jaeger bomb.
That dude.
We also do that was a joking use of the D word. We don't support use of that word obviously in the podcast or in the store. So
No.
Don't be ridiculous. Do not be ridiculous.
So
DC over here.
with this story,
we're talking about
who
that
would
later.
you want to see cast for these guys? Do you want no names, or do you want people like Chris Pratt?
I mean, I really like Chris Pratt, but I wouldn't want him in this because I don't know. Something about Chris Pratt doesn't suggest that he's like a scientist of this level. You know, like I believe him in Jurassic Park because he's kind of like a military guy,
Yeah.
whatever. Or Guardians of the Galaxy where he's a Han Solo type character. But the way just his general demeanor doesn't suggest that he has the discipline to reach this level of science, because these guys are both brilliant, like PhD scientists. Where like Robert Downey Jr. can pull it off because he's just so snarky but also is really good at talking really fast.
Well, the
So
arrogance
that's who
kind of
you-
bridges the gap between the
Yeah.
intelligence and the.
So that's who you want in the movie.
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr.
Here we
He's-
go.
he's too old.
Every
He's too old.
superhero.
he is. Yeah, he's too old. Wait, you Seth Rogen you're talking about, John? Oh. What's his name? McLovin?
Nah, he's a douche.
Yeah. And he's too like
Michael
soft
Cera?
because these guys are clearly alpha male.
Alpha. Yeah, you
fucking,
need two
like,
alphas. That's
just
why. That's why
yokes.
it's going to be interesting casting because it's two alphas. Like
Yeah.
I just watched a clip. Somebody put it on my Facebook wall of all things. A clip of the dude
Of all things.
Jason Momoa. who plays Aquaman, Conan. Conan. He's Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones. He's huge. He's like really good looking.
He might work for Dr. Corbin Quinn.
Corbin Quinn, yeah,
I could
could
see
be
that.
Good.
He'd
Yeah.
have to slim down a little bit.
Maybe.
And even like
Or maybe
Dexter for Danny.
huge.
You know?
Oh yeah,
like
Michael C. Hall.
Yeah, I could see him
He
doing
could
like
work.
a Danny.
He's a little might be a little too old too.
Yeah.
I don't know. These guys seem like they're young, like arrogant,
Late
assholes.
20s.
To those
Yeah.
listening, I am available. Just if there's for those
Right,
in power,
probably do it,
if they're really torn on a decision, I wouldn't. We can talk. It's fine.
Yeah. He's a total alpha male.
You betcha.
So anybody have any other thoughts about this book?
Closing arguments.
Closing arguments?
I'm still thinking about casting. I'll probably still be thinking about casting in a couple minutes from now. So if I interject,
I got it.
That's why.
No.
That'll be me. That's right.
You guys like the art? Sean Murphy?
I did. As you said before, those little details of the like that graph, or not graph, the chart, and if you look, some of the things in the back, can't remember off the top of my head, but some of the things in the background where there's a big group of just time displaced people. There's a bunch of funny shit in the back.
They
and all
pay a
those
lot
little,
of attention to the background.
Joe Namath gets like blasted by run over by a car or something. It's awesome.
Yeah, they destroy them. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a bunch of really funny little details in the background of those things.
Don't they like oh, I know. The funniest part for me is when they took pictures of the birth of Christ.
Oh yeah.
That was funny.
Dude, I
and the
forgot
one dude's
about
like,
that.
dude, you can't do that. He's like, why not, man?
Not only that, but because the guys were like, or whoever was there in the barn said, like, oh, it's these it's customary for you to bring a gift, and these get frankincense and myrrh. What do you have? And they're like, oh, you can have this gold chain. He's like, that's a crucifix. What the fuck's wrong?
The three wise men were like busting their balls.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
That was a great scene. My favorite scene, I think, was whenever they were running from the Tommy Lee Jones character, and they ended up in 1962 or whatever it was in Dallas. And the presidential car, like they ran the presidential car. Tommy Lee got shot in the head. Yeah. Oswald's like, God damn it.
Yeah, but that was like, well, how the fuck didn't that change like some elections or something?
I'm sure it did. Were there any moments where we saw the whatever present and things were wildly
I
different?
don't think they did that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
They should have.
Was it like like an alternate kind of reality, like alternate universe, like a Star Trek thing, like the situation?
Well, at the very
Maybe.
end, they go back and fix everything, right?
Yeah, they do.
Maybe because they went and fixed it in the past, but that was a few.
Right.
See,
now we're getting
time
to a
stuff
part.
is
Yeah.
confusing,
Now we're
man.
gonna.
Time stuff is
Yeah.
weird because it
Yeah.
definitely flies in the face of the whole butterfly flaps its wings,
Right.
And hurricane instead of rain or whatever.
Right. That's from
I-
that movie, The Butterfly Effect.
I said that totally wrong, but yeah, you understand what I mean. Yeah, here you annihilate a country and still everything turns out the same 500 years later.
We might need someone to go on a bourbon run.
Yeah,
No,
we're
fuck.
This is way too soon to be almost.
Wow, that's weird.
We don't have any dick.
Oh,
We are
God,
riding
no.
the bullet train right
we
now.
are we're riding the we're
What
drinking
time is it?
Bullet Bourbon Frontier Whiskey. Yes.
We are trying.
Yeah, we're getting.
We've
we're
done
getting
it
there.
every podcast.
Yeah.
Every podcast. Although this is the earliest we've ever fucking come close to.
The
finishing
liquor
this
store is
bottle.
not far from here.
That's what time
It's
is it?
because it's delicious.
I think it's open till 9:30.
Yeah, nobody's checking the time but me. It's
It's Charlie says to say it's
9:22
the
right
best
now.
bourbon that there is. It's 9:30. Ah, damn it!
It doesn't close at 10, 9:30.
It's 9:30. I think down here.
We got 8 minutes.
Yeah, we have 8 minutes.
you can have my mic next time around.
9:22.
We-
Do have
we-
8 minutes.
replace
Is that what time
Greg
they
with
close?
Charlie.
9:30.
I don't think you can get over there in 8 minutes right now.
It's right there.
Yeah, those people don't play.
Those are fucking state employees.
Those are
son.
state employees. They don't give
locked
a
as
fuck.
Shit.
Yeah.
They have one goal, and that is to leave at exactly 8 hours to punch out with like inside of that window that you can punch out a bit early and be the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Anyway, yeah,
So I think what Chrononauts are we?
yeah. I think
Yeah.
Fun book.
Yeah, good book. I think you pick it up.
It's
You got the trade over there, right?
yeah, the trade's out.
we. Oh, nice.
$10.
Yeah.
Or you can come in. I got all the issues in the back.
Yeah.
Definitely fun. If you like that art, Sean Murphy art, he is doing Tokyo Ghost. That's one I would like to talk about another day on the podcast.
How many issues of those are there?
2.
Okay.
Very cool.
Do you have them both in here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, both are in stock. He also did The Wake with Scott Snyder, who's writing Batman right now, and that was very cool too. So he's definitely one of the more high-profile artists in the industry right now, and you can see why. I mean, it's a unique style, a lot of like sharp lines, but
Cool shading.
super detailed.
Really fine detail in the backgrounds.
It also attracts your eye to the things that are important and things that aren't important. You could tell what it is, but sorry for interjecting. But they like it's one thing that I know from one who draws like the worst kindergartner. The hands, the giant, whatever. Anyway, it's whatever. But faces, as they're more to the closer to the camera, they have more detail. Where this is an experiment while I was reading these, I looked toward the background figures, and they have like some don't have eyes, some don't have a mouth, and because with less detail, your eyes less attracted to them.
Yeah,
kind of interested in that a little bit. And so what? I guess I meant to ask a question before I forget. When you said trade paperback, that's
that's the collected
it's a collection
book
of them
version.
Yes.
Yeah, like
instead of being like the $4,
Yeah.
like each of the 4 issues.
right,
or-
like you got like the floppy issue, and then you got the trade paperback. So whenever the story is done, or the first act or arc of a story is done, the publisher will put out the trade paperback, and those are all up there on the wall.
So that somebody who either missed out on the first couple issues, or say that it was really popular and you can't find them, or it's something that was out a while ago
can
and
be
you can't
cheaper,
find
too.
all of them.
Yeah.
It's just cheaper. It's easier to find.
Because to
Sounds
buy
like it.
individual books of some of the older books, like if you want Walking Dead, I mean,
Oh,
you're
that's
not gonna-
impossible. Yeah, you
Yeah, to buy
spend like
those books single, you're
$1,000.
gonna spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, that and like even at the time, like right now, if each of those things are $4, which I'm approximating that, it's
$3.50. Yeah.
16
I think the last
versus
one's more.
10
Yeah.
for
The
that.
last one was real
The
expensive.
last one's $6. Yeah.
And I don't think it's that many more pages.
It's not.
It
I don't think.
is.
Actually might be. It's like 1.5.
Yeah,
times.
it's 1.5.
That's
Yeah.
rough.
Although there's a bunch of stuff at the back that's
Which is
not the story.
about the same $4 to 6.
when I
is
was
about
when I was
right.
looking at them online too, the download was the same price.
like
Really?
Oh,
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't
at
know
all.
why.
And a beast
Just
guy
that one.
Yeah.
And a fucking
I mean, there are more pages, but it's not that many more pages in those.
Duke McQueen,
In the first.
Al Spader. Like I'm paying extra for that.
Yeah, I don't need to pay extra money
yeah.
for
For
the
that guy right there?
cosplay.
By the way,
Yes.
Hold that up that way.
Huge belly.
what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
speaking
go.
of
Al
extras,
Spader.
actually, the stuff that's in there, like every once you see ads for like an Iron Man like fold out paper, whatever, and that you get ads in there sometimes, but I kind of liked. This is just a general statement for the stuff that we're talking about this week and across the board. But I liked the extras that are in there. Like there's little interview segments, like Q&A with
The author.
Millar, with
Yeah.
the author, and
Yeah.
in this one, and then in this is possibly a segue.
Okay.
if I may.
Sure. Yeah.
This one has a little bit of Q&A with the author, whereas say for example Star Wars has some of the concept art, which I thought was a
That's cool.
really nice gift. Descender had like a glossary of terms
and stuff.
locations.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's I like that a lot.
Yeah,
So,
that was
yeah,
cool.
huge help.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like seeing those things in there. So they're a big help.
Yeah, things like that relate to the story or to the book you're reading are great. But when it comes to because especially I've noticed I forgot I was reading some other Mark Miller thing too, and there's like this Millerverse thing. It's like an editorial,
Yeah.
and there's like is it written by him or it's written by like his publicist
staff.
or somebody. Yeah, like I don't really give a shit about that at all.
No, I think
like
he's
kind
an
of-
ego freak.
Yeah, it's kind of like egotistical.
Yeah.
I just I didn't like that very much.
And it's like that's fucking cheap. Just having like some chick with like large breasts in a tank top.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. That's certainly Well, I don't hate that, but it's a cheap
Yeah.
strategy.
That's not obvious at all. No.
Yeah, right.
It's like a sidebar ad, and you're trying to stream a TV show or something. There's just a bunch of boobs on the side, and they're trying to your computer might have a virus. What does that have to do with boobs? I don't know. I'm going to click on it anyway.
Not gonna
Wait. And you read a comic book? Like, I'm definitely clicking on this.
Right.
Guys
exactly.
who read comics like boobs? What? No.
Yeah, it's a cheap tactics, man. Come on, Mark. You're better than that.
Game.
I think we can. That was a good segue by Greg. We might as well go to Star Wars because
Is that what we're doing? Star Wars?
Star Wars, Shattered Empire, Journey to the Force Awakens.
Oh my god.
We all have Star Wars fever, or maybe we don't. Who's excited?
I do.
I'm really
But I
excited
will
about Star
say,
Wars.
if they mess this one up, I'm not
Mouth.
touching any Star Wars shit ever again.
Yeah.
Nothing.
If this doesn't
I'm
have
done
Jar
with
Jar
it.
Binks in it, I'm fucking
I
done.
will say
I'm
that-
walking out of the theater. I'm
Yeah.
demanding my money
You're
back.
one of
That
those
little
assholes.
snowman, fucking.
It could be cool.
That's not funny,
Yeah.
It could be cool, but I feel like I'm about to talk about the coming movie more so than the comic that we just read.
That's fine, Greg. Go crazy.
Yeah, everything I've seen so far looks good.
It does look really good.
The little cute little snowman droid that rolls around.
BB-8.
He's
He
goddamn
makes
adorable.
R2 look like a piece of shit. Like
Yeah,
a
he
little
does.
fucking beat up piece of crap.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I want that one. I want the rolling one.
Oh yeah.
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 I don't know.
Yeah, it looks.
Well, see, here's because we talked about this a little bit a day or two ago. I guess it was yesterday. When comparing, because there's this loosely relates, but the non-remastered versions of the movies, and watched a little bit of it on because Jared had a copy of the first one, and it was like I like looking at the stuff before it was 90s.
Before the
Digital age.
special editions came out.
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
too.
Yeah, because I don't mind that at all. I liked seeing in the 70s what people were able to do with how little they had.
Yes.
And that's
real
why,
props.
Yeah, real props, and everything's in camera. And also going back to the 60s, I guess. I bought the first season of Star Trek. Sorry for the digression, but and I was really excited to kind of see it. Truth be told, I actually bought it after seeing the 2009 Star Trek movie, and I was really disappointed to find out that it got the George Lucas treatment, meaning that they, added in laser effects. You didn't see the four, the 1 or 2 foot wide Enterprise.
They put a CGI one in,
The
right?
CGI one in there.
Some of the shots don't look terrible. Like the CG model in some of those replaced shots, I think looks all right. It's not like a huge. It doesn't make a huge difference. Some of it you can notice, but some of them, you look at it and you're like, that looks a little bit too good for the 60s, but it still looks like the original model.
And even if you think, what would Gene Roddenberry do, the creator of Star Trek? Would he have? Does it kind of go along with it? It doesn't change the story at all, like the whole Greedo shoot first, Han shoot first. Of course,
don't even get into that part.
because that changes
What are you
story.
doing?
That changes character. No, I'm saying I'm just saying
I
it's
see what
not.
you're going for.
It's not. I'm kind of patting that down at all. It's not as detrimental as that, but it's still. It
Takes away from the production.
It takes away from the production. It takes away from the historical value of it.
Exactly.
And whenever you have a creature, I was saying this before, whenever you have a creature that has, for its eyeballs are golf balls wrapped in aluminum foil, and then now in the turn of the century, people are saying like, oh, I can make this monster blink. Well, that makes it obvious that it's not the same.
It's like saying, the I Have a Dream speech is great, but you know what would make it better?
Oh.
If Morgan Freeman read it.
That's not.
I mean,
That's not entirely true.
it might
Yeah, that
might sound pretty goddamn good, but
Hey.
that is not the point.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. So see,
That brings up.
We're not
Not to
George
get
Lucas
some
saying I have a dream. Okay, we're not going to do that.
Yeah. So my point is that seeing the trailer for the new movie, it looks awesome. That is true. Like whenever I've seen the Millennium Falcon, on the teaser trailer, where it's
Oh,
you
yeah.
hear the music. God damn, it looks good.
Yeah.
But I can't help but think this is 2015 right now, and they're bringing in Carrie Fisher. holy crap, we're bringing in, Han Solo's coming back, Luke Skywalker's coming back, so many things, but you got new characters too. Now, are these? We don't know very much about the movie at all. The story of it, there's even one among us who works at a store that has merchandise from the new movies and has had so for months. Characters they don't even recognize. So are they bringing in characters that are younger, that have more longevity to them, that whose lifespan is mostly still ahead of them? And they're just having Harrison Ford in there to kind of legitimize that crossover. He's going to make a cameo in the thing. Luke Skywalker's going to make a cameo, but really the main character of this new story is going to be some young dude who's going to be in the next trilogy, and it's just going to it's like in the Highlander Endgame movie. Christopher Lambert was just there to say sayonara. I'm signing off.
Yeah,
Duncan MacLeod, you
There
take it
could
from
be
here
only
on
one.
out.
There can be only one. It's Christopher Lambert, and that should be the end. And,
Yeah.
and to their credit, I think they stopped after that because
Yeah, they went too far with that franchise.
yeah.
But you see,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're only bringing in the. I hope not. I think the Han Solo is supposed to have a pretty big part.
Yeah, he is. He is. He
so-
has a very big role in this movie, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And J.J. Abrams came out and said in an interview, Star Wars is about the Skywalkers, and this is the next chapter in the Skywalkers family. So one of those characters is a Skywalker, those new kids.
Yeah.
And how that plays out, I think it's just, and obviously, even Darth Vader plays a role in this movie too, because and some people think Kylo Ren might be a Skywalker too.
I saw a commercial that really made me kind of angry, and I'm not even going to tell you guys what happened in the commercial, but there was one of the new characters wasn't any footage from the actual movie, but it was people dressed up like the new characters, and one of those characters used the Force, and that might have been a spoiler. And I'm kind of upset about that. And I forgot. I don't remember what the commercial was for.
Who was?
Yeah.
Which,
No,
which
I'm not gonna.
I want to fucking know.
No, I'm not gonna ruin it for everybody. No, absolutely not.
What was the commercial for?
I don't recall. It was just some stupid bullshit Star Wars tie-in commercial where it's some kids dressed up as some characters, and okay, and then one character does something and moves a car. So I'm whoa, is that? Wait a minute, I didn't know that character could use the Force.
Oh, the Duracell commercial.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that was it.
Don't say any more about
All
that.
right.
But I know that we don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Okay.
But yeah, I was kind of that better not be what happens because I'm gonna be upset, annoyed.
I think the girl is a Skywalker. That's my prediction.
I mean, that makes sense.
And maybe Kylo Ren.
Maybe everybody's a Skywalker.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Luke got
Black
around.
Guy?
Everybody. Yeah. Everybody. Yeah.
That little robot, all of them.
That's the twist.
Yeah.
Because BB-8 is a Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a
twist
kid and
is
put it
that
inside the little ball.
He destroys
whole
the new Death
rebellion
Star.
is
They're gonna have another Death
actually,
Stars
the-
and destroy it.
The Adam and Eve, right? The whole rebellion is just, it's like the Adam and Eve story. They're all just fucking incestual Skywalkers.
They just all cloned. They cloned
And actually,
Luke
the
Skywalker.
Empire is like, this is fucked up. You guys can't keep fucking each other and making more Skywalkers. And Darth Vader's like, shit, I never thought that my son and daughter would do this. We've got to put an end to it. See, topsy-turvy that shit. Look at it a little bit differently. And actually, the Empire's like, we got to squash these fucking incestual weirdos.
So we haven't talked about this comic book at all yet.
I kind of thought this would happen though.
Oh yeah.
The book's not that good.
Once you start talking about Star Wars, it all blends together.
Yeah.
all right, all right, let's get
Let's
into
talk about the book
comic.
for a second
Okay.
so we can
Okay.
move on.
So for those of you that don't know, Marvel has the rights to the Star Wars books now.
Yes.
And they have been pumping them out.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars and Darth Vader were the first two to come out, and they are
Which are both
on.
great.
Yeah, they are very good.
Yep.
We're not going to give Shattered Empire a lot of praise, but don't let that discourage you from reading the other books because Star Wars is great, Darth Vader is great, even the Lando book.
I really
was
like
awesome.
the Lando book.
I did too.
It feels like a Lando
yeah.
adventure.
He was cool.
Yeah, I can
Um,
hear Billy D's voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They nailed it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely nailed it. There was a Princess Leia book that was
Yeah, that kind of makes me annoyed because I really like Princess Leia in the movies,
yes.
and we for whatever reason we keep coming back to the idea of the strong female character, and she's an archetypical strong female character.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But her book just kind of, I don't know. She is badass in the book, and she puts herself into almost foolishly dangerous situations.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It didn't have there was something that it didn't connect with me personally. I didn't.
I didn't
And
think I didn't think of A New Hope Princess Leia when I read
Right,
that.
I didn't either.
And that's when it took place, like right after. So that was a problem for me. But
the concept is that she was collecting all the survivors of Alderaan after the Death Star destroyed their planet, which is like not a bad idea, but it's just not really interesting.
How were their survivors?
All the people who were off planet at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is she trying to put them back in the same place?
Well, no, that's impossible.
No,
she was,
but I mean, like, put them back on like
little
like
Death
on
Star
another,
right where that was.
like a whole, like, find a new planet, stick them all back there. Like, oh, it's kind of like home, only less people.
it was more like she was trying to unite them.
That doesn't sound bad.
Yeah. She wasn't trying to find a
No
new planet for them.
traffic?
She was just trying to kind of get them all to.
yeah,
Oh, your friends are
get the
probably
people
there.
Carbon emissions are cut by a third or better.
Oh, definitely better than a third.
Yeah, 2/3. I mean, who knows?
Oh, yeah, a lot. Oh man, if like a good part of my friends and family were off planet, off Earth, even Earth was destroyed. I mean, I'd miss the Earth, but I'd be like, well, if we can find a better planet, shit might be a lot better.
Yeah, it might be all right.
Yeah. No internet for a
As long
while.
as I didn't have to wear like a spacesuit all the time.
Well, yeah.
What is the name of that Leia book?
It's just called Princess Leia.
Leia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was a five issues.
Yeah.
Lando was just called Lando, 5 issues.
Yeah. Is Chewie gonna be 5 issues as well?
I don't know. I would think like if they're gonna run with that model of 5 issues.
Yeah. That one's all right.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's probably the second weakest one I've read so far.
I didn't read number 2 yet. Number 1
Sorry.
I didn't really like until the very end when that girl was like, "But we're all slaves," and then Chewie like was like, and he was all pumped up. Like,
They do a great job of characterizing.
All pumped up.
Oh, Chewie.
No, they do a great job of characterizing Chewbacca without him saying anything because he never says anything.
Right.
And in the second book, it's even better because there's a moment where he like kind of gets scared and you're like, oh, Chewie doesn't like, like he goes to crawl into a contained space and he shows him a flashback of him being locked up in like by the Empire in like a cell.
Okay.
And so he like crawls back out and he's like breathing hard. You feel really bad for him.
Poor Chewie.
Yeah. Even though he can literally tear you in half, you still feel really bad for him.
Right, and he's supposed to be like a fairly intelligent being.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Well, he fixes the Millennium Falcon, which is a fucking spaceship.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that
then
all of us
why are
combined in
you
here
drawn
couldn't
to
fix
like
any part of the
pity on
Millennium
him
Falcon.
like a dog or like a mentally challenged,
Well,
or like a child or something,
It's almost the same way when someone
because
doesn't.
you can't understand them. They'd be like, like feel that way about a Chinese person who can't speak English.
Well, that's the thing. I was just going to say that
They
it's the
made
same
your
way as
iPod.
like with someone who comes who you speak to doesn't speak your language well, and then just because they can't enunciate what they mean,
You treat them like a
you treat them
baby.
like they're
Like, oh,
it's like an automatic thing. I know that
it totally is.
I try
yeah.
not to do that, but like you just automatically kind of do that. I'm
I
guilty
wish
of
more
that.
people would have done that to me when I was no, in a place where I couldn't fucking speak their language.
That would be a great social experiment if you would just walk around like, "Hello, I am just come here."
Oh no, I tried that. Only I went to another place where I actually didn't speak their language.
Right, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And I was a fucking wreck for a year.
Yes, Dan spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia. 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't know. I didn't get that same treatment, and I don't feel compelled to offer Chewbacca. Well, no, the thing is, I do feel compelled to fucking think about Chewbacca in the same way, and that same sort of like, oh, you're like an idiot. But it's like, no, you're fucking brilliant.
he's really smart,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
you don't need me to protect you. You don't need me to like.
Well, certainly not. He's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, and he has a gun.
right.
A bowcaster, Dan.
It is a bowcaster, and he's the only person his species is the only one strong enough to operate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why
boy.
you can't. Just pick
All right, bring in the hate mail. That's fine. Whatever. My mom threw out all my.
Dude, Star Wars people are like they're pretty
Yeah.
serious about their stuff.
I
Yeah.
could get my throat slit.
Mm.
Because of you.
I wouldn't say
Some
that.
shit I said tonight.
You're still in better shape than probably most of them.
Well, that's fair.
Unless
We all have to sleep sometime, though.
That's true. Unless you're not paying attention, you're sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Shattered Empire came out. Journey to Force Awakens. The name implies it all. It is.
The name of the movie is on the front of the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think it may be
and
part of the problem.
Marvel solicited as a great lead-in to the movie. Well, I wouldn't quite call it that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it picks up like right towards the end of
It's at the end of her.
You
death.
get,
overlaps.
yeah, you get some
Return
of
of
it.
the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like it overlaps it, and we get some of what Battle of Endor and
Yeah.
the destruction of the Death Star.
There's some great little PTSD moments with what's the female character's name?
Sarah. It's
Sarah,
Sarah with an
right.
H, but the H is in the wrong place.
Yeah,
It's
and she is the
S-H-A-R-A.
mother of Poe, one of the new characters in The Force Awakens, who is the like best X-wing pilot in, I don't know if they're the Rebel Alliance or whatever the fuck they're called, Resistance.
Dan, you're saying she's the mother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so the movie is going to pick up a handful of years after this
30.
book.
Yeah.
30. Okay.
Yeah. So the purpose of this book really was to show Poe his parents as Rebel Alliance soldiers.
Gotcha.
And I'll get to my like theories later, but yeah, like I guess that was the purpose, like to bridge old to new, with a new character.
Oh, it's Shara.
Shara.
How does how does one find out about, say, Poe in the new movie? Like I don't know much more than what I can see in the trailer.
Right.
No.
You don't find anything out.
How
And
did
this
you
is-
find out about it?
the name?
Oh yeah. His last name is Dameron. And,
Yeah.
And her
Last
husband's name is
Yeah.
also Dameron. We're assuming that they are the parents, and
Has
she
to be.
she even says she has a son. So
yeah,
like it's
and it
pretty
shows
much-
it shows them at the end, like
Yeah, it shows him
like
like the
settling down.
Yeah.
On
on some other
Yavin
planet or
4.
something. Right. Oh yeah, is the Yavin 4?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a bad idea because what's his name? Nagasato, I believe, set up all of his dark side temples there. That's what all those temples are. And when you see in the
Isn't
first
it-
Star Wars movie, those are all dark side temples.
But isn't that
Well, that could be
expanded
cool.
universe?
I guess it's expanded
So
universe. Yeah, it probably doesn't
it
count
doesn't
anymore.
count. It's not
but
canon.
it's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
He set up all kinds of crazy, weird experiments with mutants in the dark side of the Force, and Luke goes there and gets possessed and haunted and shit. It's awesome.
But it doesn't count.
Thanks,
anymore.
Disney.
Disney wiped all that stuff out.
Yeah, I started that sarcastically, but then I actually became serious as I was speaking, as I continued.
Because you were like me, you wasted your time reading all of those
Absolutely.
novels,
Yes.
and there's like 50 of them, like by the end of it, and then Disney acquires the rights to Lucasfilm and says,
Yeah. Never
"Hey,
mind.
Star Wars fans, all those novels you read, they don't mean anything."
Yeah. I spent a considerable amount of my youth
Mhm.
reading those books.
And Dark Horse comics too.
Right. Darker. Yeah. The
Dark
Horse ones.
Empire was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That
Well,
does not count.
we all Heir to the Empire is clearly the
Timothy
pinnacle
Zahn. Yeah.
of the expanded universe.
Mhm.
But let's go back to the comic book because I know that
Yeah.
not all of us.
God damn it.
have
I
any-
can't stop. You got to get this out of here. This is like a fucking bag of Cheetos. Right? Like, I see that there and I just
'Cause
can't
you-
not, like,
'cause
fucking
you-
dig into it.
It's because you hate Shattered Empire. So
I do.
much. Yeah.
But
Tell
I
us why
see
you
that.
hate it. Tell us why you hate it.
Yeah, go ahead and unleash the beast, Dan.
Oh, here we go. Let the legions unite against me.
Dude, I'm with Dan on this one for sure.
Thanks, Jared.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to come for both of us, is what we're saying.
I think the best one was the last book and wasn't very good.
Right,
of the
right.
four.
For sure. And this is kind of so, and this is where I feel like the legions are going to unite against me. The Star Wars story, it's great. It's cool. It's fun. There are so many goddamn characters that you have to keep track of, and the scope of it is so broad that it just makes it hard for me to like resonate with one character where it like pulls me in. The whole story is compelling and interesting, but there's so much shit going on, man. Like, how the fuck do I have like the? I would definitely need to be smarter than I am, and maybe I'll concede that I'm just not intelligent enough, or my brain doesn't operate in the way that is necessary for Star Wars fans to be such like strong Star Wars fans. But I can sit down and watch it, appreciate it. That's great. In these books, it was the same thing. There's so many fucking characters. There's so I mean, it wasn't nearly as but they're referencing characters, right?
Yeah.
From the movies and from the story and
Well, maybe comparing this book to the movies isn't really the best way to go because I think that
No.
especially with the
See, but
first
it's supposed
two.
to be a tie-in, though. You know?
No,
what I mean?
You're right, and what I'm saying is with the first 2 Star Wars movies, it's just Dan is crawling underneath the camera that we set up. with the first 2 Star Wars movies, there was a lot of integrity there. They're trying to do something new and groundbreaking and unique.
Yeah.
And I think you can analyze those in the same way that we analyze some of the more complicated comic books. The relationship between like Luke and Darth Vader and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
The third one, it's been said that by the producers. I forget who's the guy who essentially broke up with George Lucas after the second movie. I forget. It was Rick. Is it Rick something? I forget his name.
Yeah.
But he says he's like, well, we were going to do this, but George wanted to sell some toys, so instead of Wookiees, we got Ewoks. And that's where Star Wars became a merchandising thing and not entirely about the.
It's where he lost his way.
George. Yeah, where he turned to the dark side, which
Yeah, he did.
is
That was nicely put.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess.
Bitch ass.
Anyway, but I think that if you look at the first 2 Star Wars movies, the way that I know that you liked it, you're good at analyzing things. You could totally probably come up with like a thesis on the first 2 Star Wars movies, on Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I agree that after that it kind of becomes diluted with the like here's a new character that only appeared for 1 second and his name is this and there's 8 toys from different toy lines and one of them is very rare and it's worth $5,000 because they only made 4 of them and 3 of them George Lucas stuck up his ass.
Right, because at the heart of it, right? He continues to and sleeps with it up his ass.
He still has one of them up his ass to this day, and that will be the most valuable one once he releases it.
He squeezed a Jar Jar one up there too,
concurrent with the release of the new movie.
Because at the heart of the Star Wars, right? I feel like if you distilled it all down, what you're left with is just this thing that we're all born from. It's neither all good or all light, all good or all bad, and you make choices. You make a series of choices, and the culmination of all those choices kind of identifies you at a period much later in your life, and you have a decision at that point, and that's a really cool story, and that's a story that we see again and again throughout all of the. Like we were talking about before the podcast, Greek antiquity and Roman antiquity, and how this can resonate and shape entire worlds. But
we see none of that in this book.
No, you see none of that in these books. What you see is like this woman, fucking whatever, Commander Shara, not Commander.
No, she's a lieutenant.
She's a pilot. She's a pilot. She's a lieutenant. Pilot.
And she wants to transfer out.
Yeah.
She's second in command of what, Blue Group, I think?
Because it was green squad or something.
I don't think so. I thought it was blue.
That was green. Pretty sure.
Yeah,
they're wearing some green.
Too. Yeah,
and her husband is on Endor with Han, right?
Right.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a commando.
All right.
Yeah.
Until the end.
Right.
In like the end, it was just like, oh, that's nice. You guys got to fucking have a house.
Yeah, in a couple of panels.
Yeah.
In a couple of panels, they wrap the whole
Luke
thing
was like,
up.
you can have this.
Yeah.
He's like, I got one now. I don't know what to do with the other one. I wasn't planning on that. I was going to throw it away, but you can.
Yeah, that's really funny. Luke's like, I got 2 of them now. I didn't know there's going to be 2. I really have no shit to do with the second one.
Since you're here and everybody else is bad, I guess it's yours.
Well, pickup is until Wednesday.
little Deus Ex Machina.
It's not recycling week.
That is what I really like. That was the last straw for me with this book. Like
That tree.
the tree, because
The tree of life.
I don't want any ties to the prequels with anything I read or watch.
Yeah, I agree.
And that was a cheap way of mentioning the importance of the prequels.
Yeah.
Because
Jedi
the
Temple.
tree, like at the end of the book, Luke, the last issue is Luke and this Shara going to steal back something important. It
Jedi
says.
tree.
And it turns out to be trees from the Jedi Temple.
Right.
On
Which
Coruscant.
is totally theft from Tolkien because the whole white tree of Gondor
yeah.
is like the descendant from the white tree of Numenor. Trees are like very important.
Yes.
That one tree is it's like a symbol of the hope for humanity and shit. It's very
total thievery there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a total like mention, a cheap plug for the prequels, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But when I started to think about it, and I thought about the name, Journey to the Force Awakens, and I thought about, okay, what did this book focus on? Well, a bunch of dumb shit, except for the fact that, the parents of one of the main characters in the new trilogy, Poe.
Yeah.
It is said that...
Who was also Apocalypse.
That is Apocalypse?
Yeah, he's Apocalypse.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. That's the same actor.
I didn't
Wow.
know.
Or I should say Ivan Ooze.
I heard they made some changes.
Did they? Okay, good.
Yeah.
He's blue now? That's like, instead of purple?
I heard that he has a cheek
Oh, okay,
cheek
that's cool.
lines.
That'd be cool.
I saw a picture.
Sorry.
I hope it's not fake. But all right. So Poe, what we know from The Force Awakens is he is a really good X-wing pilot. So maybe he is that good because he has some Force abilities, because he grew up with a force tree in his backyard, and he probably climbed in it and shit like that.
Fucking sword.
Wait, but what if the tree enhances the growth of midichlorians in someone's blood?
No. That word, J.J. Abrams said that word. No,
Trust me,
he said-
I am being like savagely facetious. If they fucking say that word, I will.
I walk out.
Conniption. Yes.
Walk out.
No, I'll be.
Oh
man.
If I remember correctly, they didn't even say midichlorians in episode 2 or 3 because people were
I think you're right.
up shit creek.
Did they? Yeah, I don't think they did.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I try to block all that shit out of my memory.
Yeah.
The only cool
they
thing.
went to Naboo too in the book.
Yeah,
they did.
that
That's true,
was
that's
dumb
true, they
too.
did.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another stupid plug for the fucking prequels.
I was surprised they did that.
Although in the new, and I was telling them last night, the only cool thing that I've read, because I read I'm almost done with the first novel, and one of the kid in the novel he owns like a junk shop, and his bodyguard is a battle droid from the first movies, like one of those shitty ones. And throughout the whole book, people are like, "Is that one of those shitty battle droids? That's like the worst thing anyone has ever come up with in all of wars ever." And he goes, "Yeah, it's a battle," but he actually made gave it with like battle or assassin droid programming, and like covered it in a bunch of bones. So he calls it Mr. Bones, I think. And it's actually kind of terrifying.
So
it murders like a
gangster.
No, it's gangster as fuck. It murders a bunch of people in this book. Like they say that at one point they're like trapped in an alleyway, and this thing just like falls into the middle of the bad guys, and it's just like a spray of blood. It's just murdering people. And so it kind of takes it makes fun of the fact that how shitty the battle droids were, and then makes it kind of badass.
So shitty. They just walked out and they're like,
Roger.
Roger.
Oh my god.
Roger. Beep, 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 beep.
What?
So that there won't be blood when they get killed. When they get lasered.
I don't like J.J. Abrams is not scared. There might be blood.
No,
I'm
not saying J.J. Abrams. I'm saying the episode 1, 2, and 3. So that in the 90s, there would be less.
It's like how the turtles fight. The foot soldiers are all robots.
Yeah.
So they can use their weapons.
Yeah, bullshit.
So they can
It's
tear
bullshit.
them up.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
Yeah. So they can slice them in half
Fucking
and shit.
chop them.
Yeah.
Fucking crack that bitch.
Yeah. Instead of it being like a person and Michelangelo hits him in the side of the head and his fucking skull caves in.
You think that's
Right.
why G.I. Joe created the bat droids?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
fucking for sure.
Yeah. Well, they don't even use real guns.
Yeah, they use lasers.
Yeah. Do we talk about this?
We did.
The first animated show for a long time to use actual guns is Batman the Animated Series.
Mm-hmm.
Every show before that, it's all lasers, like blue.
Well, no,
red
but
lasers.
I had this total misunderstanding, which it didn't, because I had uncles who were fucking in Vietnam. So whenever I watched G.I. Joe, and then I would talk to them about their experiences, they told me about tracer rounds, and so I just figured it was all tracer rounds, like coming back and forth. I was like, oh man, that's real. This is really realistic. Like,
Heavy fire.
That makes it a lot different.
yeah, it was like super.
You
like
had a different experience. with
Yeah,
G.I. Joe.
a totally different experience.
I like
I
that
just
better.
thought it was tracer rounds.
But how do you?
Yeah,
How do you-
this is exactly
this is
like
just
war.
like Vietnam.
This is just like war, just in general.
Mike, the only difference being that, like, when someone in G.I. Joe gets shot, they just kind of like fall down for a minute and then they get back up.
They always show them like, recovering.
Yeah. Someone always recovers from being hit, or if there's a plane. Yeah, there's always a parachute. Yeah, no one dies in G.I. Joe ever. It's impossible.
Unless they're a bad guy.
No, bad guys don't die either. Nobody dies.
Nobody died.
I just thought
No
it
one
just
ever
wasn't like
dies.
they didn't attend to the bad guy injuries
Nope.
on screen.
Nope.
They always show them getting up.
Yeah, they always get up.
Recovering.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Do
Bullshit.
do they? Do any main characters actually die in GI Joe?
Yep. Well, in the movies.
No, in the
cartoon.
Yeah. Maybe for like really dramatic effect. One person died one time.
Maybe.
Right. Yeah, he died again.
It's not really clear if he died.
Of old age.
Yeah. Anyway. So we'll get to back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're back.
Yeah. This book, some of it feels like it might, because we haven't seen the movie yet. To be entirely fair, we haven't seen the movie yet. So once we watch the movie, maybe this book could get a lot cooler. That's not inconceivable. However, it kind of feels to me like, you know what,
money grab.
Wait, first, can I just retract that whole sentence I just said? Yeah. Because I hate prefacing things I'm going to say with just buffering, like
we haven't seen
bullshit.
The movie yet, so...
No. I said, I feel like, instead of just saying this like saying what I meant to say, direct speech. I'm not going to buffer my speech with indirect speech.
Yeah, because
that's bullshit.
That's
Fuck that.
We call that bitch talk.
That's your passive voice.
Right, yeah, I'm not using my passive voice right now.
No.
So, yeah, it seemed like it was not a money grab necessarily, but kind of a diluted version of Star Wars, which had some main characters that you know and like, and
had Clapping Lando on the cover.
Clapping Lando was on the cover. That is one of the best shots of any movie ever.
Yeah,
because Billy D's doing that cool, like, just like 70s. Like, if anybody else was doing it, you'd be like,
nah,
what is he doing? But it's Billy D, so it's like kind of cool. He's
smooth.
Yeah, it's like he's like a smooth little clap. Yeah, it's
is that where?
First issue.
There it is. Right there. Look at that.
That's what
the smooth Lando clap.
Hey,
right there.
big
He's
cheese.
so happy.
He's cheesing his fuck. Yeah, that mustache and his hair is perfect. His Jerry curl's perfect.
Oh, he's like
so
fucking
good.
Santana.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Santana looks
And you can also tell when you watch the movie that the music wasn't playing when they were doing that. So they're like, just everyone kind of dance a little bit and like do some maybe clap or whatever. And he's not hearing anything. He's just like jamming.
Yeah, guys. Yeah.
He maybe has a Colt 45 behind him. He's like, whenever between shots, he just kind of like takes a little.
And that would be a great segue into the South Park episodes.
Yes,
principle.
Yeah, it would be.
That was racist.
That was not racist because Billy D. I said Colt 45 because he was the spokesman for Colt 45 for like 20 years.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So you can step up off me.
Oh, yeah.
Shut your fucking mouth, Leslie.
Any last words about this Star Wars book?
Well, of the few of them, most of the first one, if you've seen Return of the Jedi, you've already
You've
already caught most of the first issue.
Yeah, most of it. Yeah, that's true.
Which is, if you love Ewoks, then there you go. But
are there many Ewoks in it?
They're in the ship and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are on the ship.
Yeah,
They're like fucking really dumb too. They're like grabbing shit. They're like,
don't touch that. Damn it.
In contrast to Wookiees being smart,
Right,
Not
right.
only is their size halved, but
Yes, their intelligence is
intelligence
Ewoks
and
are
importance
so
and
stupid.
appreciation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
I
worse,
like
Gungans or Ewoks?
Gungans are definitely worse, but Ewoks are pretty bad, especially in the way that they are treated in the series, where you would never. Can you imagine putting like a really smart dog on the space shuttle? That's pretty much what an Ewok is.
They're even more like the monkey that the Russians shot into space.
Right.
Or the chimp or
Actually,
whatever the
that
fuck
monkey
it
was probably. I'm assuming he was strapped in the whole time.
was.
He wasn't able to move.
Yeah.
Just give him a bunch of bananas.
I don't even know. I don't know anything about that space program, but yeah, presumably, because you can't have the monkey wandering around a spaceship. That's insane.
How awesome would that be, though?
That would be great. The monkey just.
You see where it ends up?
It would probably find. No, the monkey would probably find.
Yeah.
It would find one switch and just flick it.
Yeah.
Over
A bunch of times, yeah, over and over again. Yeah, it would play with everything.
Every 475th time, like a banana would fall out.
There's an onboard security camera. I would watch that. I really would.
Oh
This is what you've done to us, George Lucas. We are equating Ewoks to monkeys.
Yeah.
They are. They monkeys with rudimentary language skills.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and weird rituals in which they burn people at the stake, which is really terrifying. We never really addressed the fact that the Ewoks are a little bit not
They're
carnivorous.
savages.
But they're like worse than savages because savages like on our planet may or may not eat you. Like the Ewoks are definitely going to eat
They will
Luke
eat you.
Skywalker.
Yeah.
They were definitely going to eat
Forgot
him.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were going to fucking eat him.
But like, how stupid is that scene? Luke is a fucking he walked into Jabba's palace, choked out some Gamorrean guards, waltzed into fucking in front of Jabba, said, "If you don't give me my friends, I'm gonna kill you." Then he killed a Rancor.
Yeah, with
Then
a
he
rock,
slaughtered
with a skull.
like an entire sand ship, and then blew it up, and
He murdered a ton of people.
and then he can't get out of being tied up by Ewoks. It takes stupid C-3PO to get him out.
I mean, that's fair. Well, he levitates. He wanted to do like the peaceful way or whatever.
Takes
I
the robot
guess.
that can't move his elbows to get him out.
But why didn't he just? Why did it even get to that point?
I don't know.
There's a bunch of furry little kids. That's why.
It would be like slaughtering a bunch of little kids. You can't really
I
do
would
that.
welcome. Like really, if there's an alternate cut.
Just Ewok blood.
Yeah.
But they look. I mean, they're so cute, right? Ewoks are so fucking.
They're
cute.
adorable. That had to have some. I mean, if you were in that situation, you'd be like, I'm a Jedi, and I could kill all these adorable creatures, but I can't do that.
But it's like all these fucking Shih Tzus, you know? These people have these Shih Tzus. if shit went down, you had a house full of Shih Tzus.
They're trying to eat
they're
you.
hungry. You're done. They're fucking
done.
chewing you up. Like if shit hits the fan.
Well, I think the whole time, okay, to defend Luke and maybe even to defend George Lucas, I hate doing
what are you
that, but well, the whole time Luke is laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
From the moment
Okay.
they get like out of the what am I call it? The R2 frees them from the net.
Yeah,
They're hanging in the tree.
you're right. He is laughing.
He's laughing the whole time. He's just like, really? Like this is we're trying to blow up the Death Star, and this happens. These adorable little things. Okay, you know what? You got us. We'll see where this goes. And he clearly saw that he could probably just do something with the Force and just make them really scared
Yes.
and get them out of that way instead of having to murder, because he's still a Jedi. He doesn't want to murder
Yeah, I
people
guess
if he
that's
doesn't
true.
have to.
Yeah. He
But-
could have wiped them all out. But he didn't.
Absolutely, but he's not going to do that. He's,
Yeah.
Although I did hear an interesting theory, which I guess we could get into. I'll tell you guys. So, someone proposed that the whole time, like from the beginning of Return of the Jedi, that Luke
He's
is an
turned.
agent of the dark side,
He's turned.
because
Oh.
the first thing he does
That'd
is
be awesome.
first thing he does is choke out a couple of Gamorreans that he
Mhm.
could have probably just thrown up against the wall or
Yeah.
whatever. He may have killed them.
That's a Vader move.
That's a Vader
Choke
move.
out.
Absolutely. He doesn't use that in any movie before that.
Right.
He chokes those dudes out. Dark side move.
He's
He-
wearing all black.
He's wearing all black.
Yeah.
In that little message he sends with R2, he says, "Here are your droids. They'll serve you well," which is a lie.
A lie.
Absolutely a lie. The Jedi really don't do that. Not to my knowledge. No, they try not to.
Mhm.
They might say like half truths, but like that's a straight up bullshit lie.
Mm-hmm.
And then he walks in there. He's like, "Listen, give me my friends, or everyone here is gonna die."
Or you die.
Yeah. And then he does that.
He said, "I will."
He fucking
destroy
slaughters
you."
every single person other than him and Lando and Leia and Han and the droids and,
Yeah.
and Chewie. Everybody else
Dead.
in the whole, even the innocent like dancers and shit that were on
Dead.
the servants, they're all dead. He killed everybody.
Mhm.
Luke rolls in there
And he didn't
and
have any
murders a
remorse.
bunch of people.
No remorse.
No remorse. And then finally at the end of the movie, he absolutely uses the dark side. Whenever Vader says, "Maybe your sister will turn," Luke goes, "Fuck you!" and he loses his shit and like overwhelms Vader with the dark side.
Before he does that, remember the Emperor's like taunting him.
Yeah.
And says like, "Here's your weapon.
And he tries to kill him.
Take it and you can kill me." And he tries.
Yeah.
Like he intended to kill the Emperor there.
Mhm.
And the Emperor said, like, if you do this, you will be a dark side user. Like you're it. Like that's it. That's the end of you. And he tries.
The even better example is okay, remember, and I once again hate giving George Lucas any credit, and I doubt that he thought about this in advance. But Luke throws his weapon away. The Emperor's like clapping. He's like, good job. You killed Darth Vader. Now you're mine. And Luke's like, no, fuck you. Luke throws his weapon away, which allows the Emperor to shoot him with the fucking Force lightning.
Yeah.
Which Luke is like getting fried. But you know who also used that same move of like using Force lightning to seem like they were getting fried? The fucking Emperor.
He did.
In the prequels. He, like, whenever Samuel Jackson's deflecting it back at him, and he's like, Vader, you have to help me. I'm killing myself, kind of. Luke is like manipulating Darth Vader to kill the Emperor.
True.
He's like, Father, please. And Darth Vader's like, oh, fuck. Which is the same person that was manipulated to kill Samuel L. Jackson in the first movies.
Exact same position.
Same position. Yeah. He's in those earlier movies. So once again, Anakin Skywalker is being manipulated by one person to kill another person who who at this point did deserve it, but like Luke using those same manipulative tactics as the Emperor at the end of the movie.
That theory does have a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Like even in Empire, when Luke like cuts out on his training,
Yoda says, "If you do this, you will fall to the dark side."
He straight out tells him.
He says,
and he does it anyways.
Yeah,
and
you're lost.
Prior to that, he went down into the cave, fought the image,
fails.
And who fails, and who was under the mask.
Yeah, he says, "Don't take your lightsaber in there because you're gonna fail."
Yeah,
I
guess the only hole I see in that is that last scene when he throws his lightsaber away. You could say that, and what you said totally makes sense, but you could also say that, well, he throws his lightsaber away and he gave in. He was teetering on the edge of the dark side, or he did turn for, most of that movie, but he came back at the end and he chose the light and he was prepared to die. And then Vader got his redemption. But what's interesting, did you see, what the fuck was that show called? Dinner for Five or something?
Oh, with Mark Hamill
and J.J. Abrams, Kevin Smith, and Stan Lee. Mark Hamill told J.J. Abrams, this is like early 90s. He said,
we talk about this all the time.
Yeah, it would be cool if Luke turned to the dark side. He said to J.J. Abrams, who was not like a big time director.
He was happy to be there. He was like lucky to be there at the time.
He's like, really?
Yeah.
I have there may be there are people who are way more well read up on the subject than I am, but one bone of contention some people have had about the current forthcoming Star Wars movie poster is that Luke Skywalker is not on the poster. Han Solo is, Carrie Fisher's is, but I heard that and I said, oh, or is he? Because you see who is the villain
to do with the mask on.
And who has a different name, such as, say, Anakin Skywalker had a different name. That was Darth Vader. This villain's name, whatever it is, I don't know. But
Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Okay, you only hear Mark Hamill's voice on the trailer. You never see him. I don't know.
Yeah, and Kylo Ren is talking directly to Darth Vader's mask. Who else would have that mask? The last person to have that mask is Luke Skywalker.
That's good.
But it's not him. Adam Driver plays him.
Yeah, I know that, but
and you see him without his mask on.
Right. When he's fighting, he has long dark hair. Yeah, that's true. But that would be badass.
It's a thought. That's why I said like people who know more about it than I do could easily squash that. But it's a cool thought. I mean,
no, it's a great.
It is. What could actually hold up is Kylo Ren is Luke's
apprentice or son or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like Luke gave him bequeathed to him the mask and whatever else.
Told him the legacy of the Skywalkers
right.
and all of it.
Right. And yeah, Luke might not even appear in the movie. In the movie beyond flashback or something.
I heard he's like the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's the rumor I hear. He is the MacGuffin.
Right.
And then he dies.
Oh man, I'd be so mad if
They kill him like in the first 5 minutes.
That's what I mean. Like if they bring in these actors, like, oh man, I'm looking to see another Star Wars adventure with these classic characters, and then they're like hardly even in the movie. That sucks.
Yeah. It seems like there's gonna be a lot of Han Solo, a lot of Princess Leia.
Mhm.
Carrie Fisher, by the way, as from what I see her face, looks a lot better than I've seen her look in years.
Yeah, she straightened out.
Yeah.
She dropped some weight, I think.
Yeah.
And
I want to sit down and
quit blowing coke.
Well, I want to sit down and talk to her because she is fucking hilarious. Like,
She is
she
funny.
is so funny and like intelligent, and she has seen so much shit that she has so many awesome stories to tell.
What
I
was
want to
that-
hang out with Carrie
what
Fisher
was
so
that,
bad.
Did she do a special for HBO? Was it HBO or Showtime or something?
She did a special. I didn't see
It
it.
was really funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah,
gotta
she's
watch
really
it.
funny.
I did like how she, among all the characters, Luke and Han and everything, were drawn in Shattered Empire. Yeah, I mean, of course, it takes place right after Jedi, so yeah, she looks good, tight pants. I mean, I would reference the one panel, but I think the pages are a little stuck together. That's like,
Speaking of,
They're
did you see the garbage? Like
they were calling the
Disney, wants
they
to
were
like
calling this the bikini.
remove all slave Leia
Yeah,
What?
paraphernalia.
yeah. All those toys and stuff. They're gonna stop making
Like
them.
all your fantasies, they want to take away.
Yeah, they want to take away all your preteen.
They
Disney. Yeah.
Fuck them. They make movies about goddamn Pocahontas and it like
The-
genocide and
The one I can think of that is the worst offender is the Hunchback of Notre Dame, where
Right?
where the Catholic he's not a priest, he's like the he's a cardinal, I think. He's a cardinal? I don't know. Whatever. The bad guy in that movie, his song is about how he wants to bang the gypsy, and if he can't bang her, he wants her to burn in hell.
Wow.
And I shouldn't even say bang. She doesn't want to bang him, so I'm gonna go ahead and say rape. He wants to rape her, and if God doesn't allow him to rape her, that she needs to burn in hell. That's where Disney's coming from.
Man, Disney
So-
are some weak bitches. They are weak as shit.
I mean, no, I wouldn't say that they're weak. No,
They
they
don't think they're weak?
Getting rid of slave Leia.
that's
is
weak. That's a week move.
horrendous.
Yeah.
Horrendous move.
I don't know how you could not think Disney was weak.
Like that.
Ain't
Like-
strong.
No, man,
No, I'm saying that movie. That's a strong fucking move in that movie. That's crazy. That's a kid's movie.
No, attacking the Catholic
It's a
Church
family
is like
movie.
the easiest thing ever because of course they're raping people. Like, come on.
Yeah, but it's a Disney movie. They went.
At least it's a female.
Yeah.
Oh man, they could have made that a lot worse.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they could have made that worse. Although in that movie,
Fucking ultimate
just doesn't that
twist.
bad guy know the Hunchback and like
Mhm.
gently caress him sometimes?
Yeah, you're right. He does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fair point.
Yeah. Disney did not fuck around with that, and they have a history of not fucking around. So
They
I'm
also
surprised
have
at the slave
history
Leia
of
move.
like anti-Semitism.
Well,
With-
yeah, that's true.
With fucking Walt.
we could,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's,
yeah, we could get real deep into the evils and darkness of Disney, but I don't. The point is, I also don't agree with removing the slave Leia outfit
No.
because, I mean, yeah, it's kind of
it's an icon.
it is definitely an icon,
yeah.
and it's not just like a sex icon. It's like a sci-fi icon.
Yes.
there are plenty of kind of equally, if not more, racy outfits in sci-fi, but that one is it's in Star Wars. It's Princess Leia. It's really sexy.
Mhm.
She looks great in it.
Mm-hmm. There's no denying that.
But she also strangles the shit out of Jabba the Hutt while in that costume.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
like if any argument can be made, you could be made that like
It empowers.
it
her.
that's one of the most empowering moments. That's the only time where she kills someone with her bare hands. She
Yeah.
actually might be the only person who kills another being in that whole series with her bare hands. With that chain in her bare hands and strangles the shit out of him. And he's the one who put her in the costume.
Yes.
That is awesome. And if you don't think that's a feminist move, you can fuck off.
Right, because you're right. It is a feminist move.
It's like, oh, you're gonna put me in this sexy thing that like I'm not wearing anything.
I will
Well, guess what?
strangle you.
I'm gonna kill you with my bare hands. In a world where we have blasters and lightsabers,
You big
I'm gonna
fat
kill
pig.
you, you big fat piece of shit, with my bare hands in this
Mhm.
chain. That's awesome. So Disney,
You're fat
please
shaming.
Wrong move,
don't-
Disney.
don't take that away from her
Wrong move.
or from the world. from the galaxy.
How are they removing it? Like they just like they're
just
not
going to stop making the
sell-
toys. They're not going to make any more merchandise.
No
I mean, there have
references
been
to it.
gold bikini toys this whole time, and I haven't been aware. I'm like,
I think there's
How
one of
did you
these
not
one of
know
these
that?
pops. There's a slave.
Yeah, there's
Leia
probably one of those. Yeah,
there is.
There. But yeah, also there could be more Leia merchandise in general. There isn't a lot. There's less of her than like all the other characters, which is a problem. But that doesn't mean you should remove even more of her merchandise.
Right.
Yeah.
That actually seems counterintuitive because they're like, oh, Leia's underrepresented. Let's remove more of her shit. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, guys, I have to take this.
Okay.
That's good. That's a good.
Unless we're gonna fucking wrap this thing up.
We can wrap it right here.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll
We'll go to the
we'll
next
stop part 1 here, and we'll go to part 2 in a moment. So, play the outro music.
one last thought: Carrie Fisher herself probably would rather people see her in her gold bikini than with those buns on the sides of her heads from A New Hope.
I forget. She said she hated both of those things. I'm not sure which one she hates more, but she hates all those things.
That's a good question.
That would be a great question if we can get Carrie Fisher on the show. Carrie, if you're listening, please come on the show and let us know your thoughts on those.
Yeah.
Those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. She probably had a lot to this actually. Anyway, all right.
Sure she could have a lot to this.
All right. So we'll be back for part 2 in a moment here.
Bye.